Hey friends, this is Carrie and welcome back to I Like Reddit channel. Today we have a variety of stories out of some different subreddits. Let's begin. Our first story is by a Yoitz Joe. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Entitled Dad leaves his kids in the lobby while he goes to see a movie. Obligatory mobile warning because my landlord won't fix the Wi-Fi. I work in a big movie theater that has 9 theaters and 2 bars. Up to a certain time, we're family friendly. Kids 4 to 14 are allowed to come with their parents and kids 15 to 17 can come by themselves. However, after 8 p.m., we stop running the kids movies, G and PG, and only kids 15 to 17 can come with parental supervision. One of the reasons for this is because people hang out at the bar. I'm working in one of the theaters playing the Joker for the 9:15 showing. A single, ticket-wise, guy comes in and took his seat. I checked his ticket. Cool, he's good to go. About 10 minutes in, my manager comes in the station and points out this guy's seat on our seating chart. Cast: M is manager, ED is entitled dad. Manager: that guy's on his own, right? Me: yep. Why? What's up? Manager: he dropped 3 kids off in the bar area because they're too young to see the Joker. Basically, this dude had 3 kids. One was 12 and the others were roughly 10 and 7. Tried to get them in to see the Joker, but was told by the ticketer that they were too young. So he just left them there and went in by himself. According to the manager, now the kids were wrecking the lobby and the bar, knocking over cardboard cutouts and screaming and whatnot. We go into the theater and the manager kneels down by entitled dad and politely and quietly tells him he can't leave his kids in the bar or the lobby. ED: the oldest is 12. He can watch them. Manager: sir, after 8, our age cutoff is 14, and they still need a parent with them. ED: not at all trying to be quiet. Well, that's stupid. This is supposed to be a family-friendly neighborhood. Manager: that's our policy, and your kids are causing a disturbance at our bar. You need to get them now. Entitled Dad: I'm watching the movie, man. Just send them to the park across the street. Wow, what a great father. Actually, this is the point where manager backs up and radios for security, who is a big scary looking guy who's actually a big teddy bear. But he shows up, and when entitled dad sees him, he leaves without causing a scene. He mutters some crap under his breath about how we're going to lose all our business because we don't cater to parents, blah blah blah. All in all, not super dramatic like some on here. I just thought he was a terrible parent. As a note, there have been a couple of robberies in the park across the street lately, so sending your young children over there at night is extra bad. Wow, what a doozy. I'm actually surprised that he wasn't tossed out of the theater, but I don't understand what this whole thing is, thinking that establishments are babysitters. But I guess if you're entitled, I guess everybody is a free babysitter in your world. Anyway, on to the next story. Our next story is by TV Snacks. Please get out of my car. I've been reading a few stories on here about people getting into cars that aren't their Uber, and what reminded me of my own. This happened a little while ago. I was outside a bar waiting for my boyfriend to pick me up, driving my car, and I see this girl stumbling out of a bar heading towards the road. At the same time, I see my car pull up and head towards it, quickly stop as the girl opens the passenger door of the car and gets in. Now my poor boyfriend is so confused and is just staring at me through the windscreen like, WTF do I do? And he tells her that this is not her Uber and that he's picking up his girlfriend. The chick is adamant, however, saying that this is definitely her Uber because, she ordered one and this has to be it. By this point, I'm standing at the passenger side door telling her that she's in the wrong car. She's now refusing to get out and telling my boyfriend to take her home. People are starting to come out of the bar and are watching the scene unfold. I'm at my wit's end because she's making a scene and telling me to get my own Uber, and my boyfriend is yelling at her to get out. Finally, her Uber walks up, and she gets the notification and stumbles out of my car. No apology or anything, they just drive away. To this day, I still find this so bizarre and hilarious. This is the second story on here where somebody gets into a random car rather than it be their Uber or their Lyft. They didn't check who the driver was or the license plate number or anything like that. They just assume that the car that they're getting into is the correct car. And in my experience, when you make assumptions like that, they don't always, this one turned out okay, but this girl in the future, her being so inebriated like this, sometime it might not end up well. And I think or the situation might not end well. And I just find the whole thing frightening. Anyway, on to the next story. Hey again, friends. If you're enjoying my content, please drop some trees in the comments section down below. Thank you. Our next story is by Modieto Suki. Killed a towing company with one simple phone call. Killed an entire tow company with one simple phone call. I'm mobile, so bear with me. Several years back, I went to work for a towing company. It's about all I know how to do other than paint cars, which is dramatically affecting my health. The pay was pretty decent, but we had to share trucks, and the boss felt he knew where we needed to sit in order to get the best calls. This is important for later. Several months in, I realized I was not making the type of money that I should be making. So I took the opportunity while I was sitting in a parking lot one evening to start researching laws pertaining to employees in similar positions. He was kind of a jerk, and the truck had transponders so that he could see if we had been idling with the air conditioner on a hot day or idling with the heat on a cold day. He was always calling and complaining about something if the wheels were not turning. During my research, I discovered that if he was requiring us to sit in a certain parking lot, street, or any other location of his choosing, we were entitled to be paid an hourly wage, not just our commission. The technical term was engaged to wait, however, allowed us to freely roam while we were waited for calls. We are not entitled to hourly wages, and we are therefore considered waiting to be engaged. I never mentioned this to him, but I did start to take note of my time. Another month goes by, and he decides to start coming down on me for tiny little bits of BS. Things that ordinarily wouldn't even matter, such as I forgot a pop can in my cup holder. He actually had a screaming fit about that. At this point, I was tired of working there, and I'd already found another job, so I decided it was time for me to put my plan into motion. I called him up and told him that we needed to have a conversation about my final wages, and that we could meet at his convenience. Upon entering the office, I laid out my argument, explained the state law, and told him I expected to be paid for the hours that I was on the clock but not freely allowed to roam looking for work or able to do things of my choosing. He told me no uncertain terms would he be paying me for that time, as was agreed upon my employment. I did not bother to argue, as I already had my next step planned, so I took my final check and I left. The following Monday, I made a phone call to the State Labor Board where I laid out my case to them. Needless to say, they were very interested in what was going on. In the end, they came to review his employment records and speak to the drivers still working. When he got the bill of what he had paid us all, it was too much for him to afford, so he sold his trucks, his boat, and lot and went out of business. I never got the money owed to me in full, only a fraction, but the satisfaction of knowing the law just a little bit better than he did and watching it all burn was pure bliss. It's always nice to hear happy endings. Well, I mean, happy ending for the OP. I mean, it's not happy ending for the boss, but you know what? That's what you get for being a jerk to your employees. He got what was coming to him, so I don't feel bad for him at all. On to our final story. Our final story today is posted by Can't Solve This. Mother-in-law goes to the ER for attention, I mean a cold. My mother-in-law is a widow and treats my husband like a surrogate husband. She had been complaining of a cold and cough for 24 hours and was upset about nothing getting better because colds don't last longer than 24 hours in her world. My dear husband made the mistake of telling her that we were going to the emergency room where they had just airlifted my critically ill brother. I was up for over 24 hours with my brother in the ICU room, and I get a text from FM that they were taking my mother-in-law to the emergency room for her cough. I said, okay, thank you for taking care of her. Let me know if they keep her. They knew I was with my brother who had nearly died. Shocked his heart 3 times. I found out the next day that the FMs were appalled that we did not leave my brother's side to go to the ER. Newsflash, they did not admit her to the hospital. When I finally went over to see her at the house the next day, she was too weak to go to the store. She almost starved to death in her home with a full pantry and refrigerator. Your husband thinks that she purposely escalated her illness to see what he would do. Stay with me or go to her. Nope, he stayed with me. He thought she was being ridiculous. She is so jealous of my family and there has always been an underlying competition with me. I reviewed her ER visit paperwork. Chief complaint, cough, discharge, diagnosis, cough, no ammonia, nothing. I called her out for letting FM text me when she knew that I had been up for over 24 hours, and she said, "I might have overreacted. I just didn't know if I would ever feel better." Guess what? She feels better and was off to play cards. Common cold, last 3 days. We were supposed to drop everything and go to her side. Nope, success. Edit. My brother gave us quite a scare and will need medication for the rest of his life. He is doing very well, and thank you all for your concern. Love this subreddit. That's all the stories I have for today. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to let you know when I've uploaded new content. Head over to Reddit and drop a upvote for the OPs. Links to the original Reddit posts are in the description box below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.